The problem with rates is that some students just get them. When I teach students this topic, many students just get them right away. And some students just really, really struggle with it and they're absolutely lost at what's really happening. So I hope you're not on the second group of students, but even if you are, nothing to worry. We will, I will try to be straightforward with the questions and give you some good approach to it. But if you have any problem, feel free to ask any question. Okay. So there's no problem in going slow as long as you understand this. Uh, the best way of doing this, now I know there are many different ways in which this is taught, but the best way that is like foolproof, that is basically a conversion tree that we make. Okay. So we use a conversion factor, and that conversion factor really, really helps. So here's a simple example. Let's suppose there's a factory that produces 20 cars every hour. And we want to know how many hours it would take to produce 300 cars. So here's the thing. What's the rate of the car? The rate of production is 20 cars per hour. And I want to know how many hours it would take to produce 300 cars. Now, this is a pretty straightforward, easy question, right? All you need to do is figure out what the rate is. Rate is 20 cars per hour. So that is equal to basically just do it like this. You have 20 cars per hour, put an equal there. And that's 20 equals cars per hour. You have a formula there. So the rate was 20 cars per hour. Just put an equal sign inside and you have your equation that you need to solve. So how many cars do I have? 300. How many hours? I don't know. So 20 equals 300 over x. X equals to 300 over 20. That gives me 15. 15 hours. There you go. Let's try another one. Let's suppose, yeah, so here's a question. A rocket has 360. I'll just copy the question. So we need to first find a rate here. Okay, so
I think I might have the answer.
Okay, what's your answer?
Is it 65?
Yeah, it is 65. How did you do it?
Sir, I realized that 360 and is 2 hours in and 100 is 6. So first of all, I had to subtract the 100 from the 360 to get what I'm looking for, which is 260, which is used in that duration of 4 hours. Then I divided that 260 by 4.
Very good, very good. So what you basically did is that we wanted to find the rate, which was going to be gallons of fuel per hour, right? So what you have done is that you have figured out how many gallons did they use and how much time elapsed during that. So very good, because they use 360 minus 100. So basically they use 100 gallons, right? Only 100 left after that. So that's 360 minus 100 gallons that was used, and 6 minus 2, that is the time that was taken. So yeah, 260 over 4, which is, yes, as you said, 65.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Let's try another question. This one is similar to this one.
Is the answer 416?
Sir, I'm kind of slow with these questions.
Okay, so what's your strategy here?
वही सोच रहा हूँ. Sir, are we gonna do 480 divided by 6?
Why would you do that?
नहीं, एक second.
So try to figure out how many oranges he can get and then how many boxes it will take. Now, one method is pretty straightforward. You have 20 cents and $500. So that means $500 divided by 20 cents, that looks like this. So that is 2,500 oranges. Okay. So how many boxes? 2,500 of 6, which is 417, I think. 416.
Yeah, 416.7.
Yeah, so 416 oranges. You gotta round it up because it's a orange. It's not like you can round it up.
You could, but then so it says how many do they completely fill?
Exactly. So you wouldn't have that. But what if I wanted to do it another way? What if I wanted to have a conversion tree? Now, a conversion tree looks like this, that you start by taking what you have and eventually take your way all the way to boxes. So for example, over here, I want to know how many boxes I have. Okay. So let's start with dollars here, the budget. So I have dollars and the price is oranges per In fact, the price is cents. So I convert those dollars to cents. So there is X cents per dollar. And then there is uh, one orange for how many cents? 20 cents. And there's 100 cents per dollar. And then I'm going to convert how many oranges? So 6 oranges per box. Okay, or I can say that there's going to be one box per orange. So what's the relation? Box has oranges. Oranges cost cents. Cents are dollars. That's the relation. Okay. Now when I do this, I have $500. So 100 cents. Every dollar is 100 cents. So that is 500 times 100 cents. And every orange is 20 cents. So that divides it. And then I have one box is that many oranges. Does it make sense?
So it makes sense, but would this even be efficient for the SAT because it's all about timing?
Now, I'll give you an example. And maybe this is an efficient way for that. Maybe,
Okay.
I'm not sure, but maybe.
सर साथ में MCQs ही हो गया ना?
Yeah, there are a few gradient questions वो आपने लिखना होता है. I think there's 16 of them. I'm not sure.
So I think I might know the answer.
Okay, what is it?
48.
How did you do it?
Okay, so sir, a minute and 15 seconds is 1.25 minutes, and I divided an hour by 1.25, got 48, and then it does 1 mile per that. So that was the answer, sir.
Yeah, perfect. So basically, what they're asking us is how many miles can you travel in 1 hour? So that is miles per hour, right? Miles in 1 hour. That's what they're asking us. So all I need to know is that how many minutes is an hour and then convert that. Okay, so 1 mile in how many hours? 1.25 over 60 hours. Now, if I were to use a conversion tree for this, basically what I'm doing is that I have miles per hour. Then what I'm doing is I'm taking this 1 hour to right side. I'm like, okay, 1 hour, how many minutes is that? So 60 minutes in 1 hour. And how many minutes, how many seconds? 60 seconds in 1 minute. Then 1 mile in 75 seconds. So that will give me the miles. But of course, yours is better, more intuitive. But if it doesn't work, then obviously you have this method.
Sir, you said we had 27 chapters, correct?
Yeah.
22 topics. Do you know when in that 27 will we deal with topics such as like trigonometry, like arc length and stuff like that?
I'll have, hold on, let me see. Currently, this is topic 5. Then I'm going to accelerate by 4 topics. I'm going to skip 6 to 9 because those are pretty straightforward. And I'm only going to do word problems for those. Then we have chapter 10, which is inequalities. After that, we'll have that's algebra, quadratics, functions, lines. And then we have geometry.
Geometry. Is trig involved in that? Like
Geometry is trig. There's trig
like
and
a simpler version of trig.
I'm sorry?
Isn't geometry like a simpler version of trigonometry?
No, not really. Trigonometry is a subtopic in geometry.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So there are basically 4 categories of the math that you're tested on in SAT. So geometry is one of them. Then there's stats, which is usually taught at the end. And before that, you have algebra and these things.
Because like I would say, don't the harder things need more time? Like the things that are really complex.
Yeah, I feel like that these topics are pretty simple. What we can do is that I can give you the worksheet and you can work on it on your own. And if you have any problem, you can obviously ask me. That's what I'm going to do with the next 6 topics.
What are the next 6 topics that you said you're going to skip?
Those are basic algebra. Basically, that is equations, dealing with variables like different algebraic expressions or factorizing or substitution, elimination, manipulation, different expressions, translating from word problem to making an equation, that kind of thing.
All right. And say I have another question. but I'll
Yeah,
actually I'll save that for later. So it's not related to this.
you can ask, no problem.
I was saying, say, could you refer like any sources I could use to study for like AP statistics and like, do you know any resources for like AP economics and stuff like that too? Because I want to start self-studying for the APs.
For AB Stats, that book, I think, who's the writer? I've forgotten the name. There's a really, really good book for AB Stats, and there is a lot of past papers for. I think they're available on College Board if you make your IP my AP account. They
Yeah,
do give you past papers, so that ought to be enough.
yeah, sure. So I mean, the book, if you could send me details on that, I'd really appreciate it, sir.
Oh, you don't have the book? Check in your school's library.
So we don't have any like resource books like that for APs. Our school,
Oh God.
despite trying to be like posh and whatnot, very, very cheap.
I know.
How long is the set for? Is it like 5 hours?
3 hours in
Three
total time.
hours and some minutes.
3 hours is
Oh,
the exam itself. There's like a break in between as well.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
so are you allowed to do the exam during your break?
No,
No.
you're not. They give you different sections, and after I think 3 sections, you have a break, and then something like that. They have a division.
You have a break after the first section, I
Okay.
believe, and then the third section.
Okay.
So you have a break after reading. I think that's 65 minutes long. Then you jump, then you do writing. Then you go straight into math with no calculator. Then you have a break before math with the calculator.
Oh,
It's a 10-minute break and a 5-minute break. You have 15 minutes of breaks.
okay.
It's a marathon. You need to build stamina before you go.
Timing is like crazy important in the SAT.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, try doing this question.
Sure, sir.
If you get it, sorry, if you get it right, I'll just give you the exercise to solve.
I have a feeling it's A.
No, it's not A.
So I thought it was C, but I'm also just guessing.
It is C. Let's do it. So, to prepare for class, Mr. Chu has printed a number of booklets with P pages per booklet. Okay, so P per booklet, P pages per booklet. And then, if every 5 pages costs 6 C cents, so 5 pages are C cents, which means I can just flip it and make it C cents per 5 page. And there is $1 for 100 cents. So that gives me X booklets. So what is that? That's going to be my booklets are. No, wait a minute. There's something wrong.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
You can take a break, get some water. That's
Just
fine.
give me a minute. I'll get
Yeah.
some water. So basically, what are we looking for? We're looking for how many books he printed. Okay. So what's the booklet equal to? So the books would be that he. So let's say we have one book. Okay, one book has P pages, and 5 pages cost C cents, and there is 100 cents in every dollar. And how many dollars did he spend? He spent D dollars. So basically, what I have is I start by taking the booklets. I want to know how many booklets I have. Then I start converting. One book, I just take one of that. One book has P pages, and then I have to find what's the pages connection to the next thing. So the page should go there. Now, 5 pages cost C cents. So what's the cents connection to the next thing? 100 cents per dollar. What's dollars connection to the next thing? There is D dollars per book. Okay. So if I do this, I get 1 times 5 times 100 times D over P times C. Yeah, that's my answer. 500D over CP.
Yeah, sir. But like, I don't know how you chose, like, how you guessed which variables to put.
Okay, let's do another problem and maybe we can understand from there.
All right.
I'll tell you how I solve this. So how I would approach it. First of all, I want to know what my question is. My question is how many more minutes will it take her to travel the same distance? So I want to know minutes. So I'll start by taking. I need minutes. I'm sorry.
एक सवाल है सर.
जी पूछो.
Sir, can't we just do cross multiplication?
You can if things are like directly related. Sometimes they're not. In this case, they are.
Can you try to do cross multiplication for only this
Yeah.
question?
You can, yeah. In fact, in this question, you can use that formula. Speed is distance over time. There's no hard and fast rule that you have to solve a method. You have to use a method. You just have to find the right answer. For example, in this case, Leona and Tom are both driving, right? So
Okay.
I can use the equation speed is distance over time. So this one is using, Tom is using 50 miles per hour at 30 miles at t time. So that's t is going to be 30 over 50 hours. And Leona will take 40 miles per hour for the same distance. That is 30 over Leona's distance. So Leona's distance time is going to be 30 over 40. So we just want to know who takes more time. So 30 over 40 is bigger than 30 over 50. So
The answer is 9, right?
the answer is 0.15 minutes, I think, which is times 60. That is 9. In fact, if you use a calculator, scientific calculator, there's usually a button on it, which is like this. There's a box, then there's a comma, then there's 2 commas.
A box, a comma, and then 2 commas. No, I have one with just a comma. And
Write 0.15, press equal, then press that button, the comma button.
0.15,
Then press equals,
then press equals.
then press that comma button. What do you see?
It's literally a comma just came up on the calculator. Now it says syntax error. A bit of an old one, sir.
Probably. Because if you have a one with this button, it will simply convert 0.15 to 9.
Sir, I have a question. Was this part of the math with calculator or no calculator?
This is no calculator, by the way.
This is
Yeah.
no calculator. That makes a lot more sense. Because
Yeah.
I did it in a way that I used a calculator. It was a bit faster,
Mhm.
but like it also doesn't make as much sense, and it has no specific formula behind it. So could I explain my method to you?
Yeah, I get it.
You go back up to the thing. Yeah. So, sir, I figured out like how much time it would take. So I did 50 miles an hour, and then I divided it by I multiplied it by 0.6, which got me 30 miles, which means it took 0.6 hours. I multiplied that by 60 minutes, so I got 36 minutes for that. 36 minutes for Tom to get to 30 miles. And I applied the same thing for Leona, and I got 0.75, which translated to 45 minutes.
Exactly. You know what you're doing?
What am I
Like,
doing?
what exactly you're doing? In your head, you are making a conversion table.
I don't think of it like that. I kind of just do it.
I know. But it's fine. You don't have to think of it like that. For example, here's how I would translate what you're doing. You thought there's a 30 miles distance and she's spending 1 hour for 50 miles. And there is 60 minutes to 1 hour. So this hour cancels here, the miles cancel here, and you're left with this thing, right? 36.
I mean, I don't think that's how I do it. So I did it using calculators, which wasn't as good because I didn't know that. So could you teach me like the way without calculators then?
I would use this formula. Speed is distance over time.
That's a physics thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a physics thing.
Speed equals distance over time. Yes, sir. But are we calculating speed here or distance? I'm pretty sure we're calculating distance.
We're calculating time.
How many more minutes will it take? Yes, yeah, you're right. Actually, we are calculating time.
So I'm going to give you a big worksheet for this one and the next one. Okay. And then I'm going to quickly go over a small topic now. That's inequalities. Now, inequalities has just 2 rules. Solve it like an equation. Okay. Solve like an equation. But the rules are never multiply or divide by a variable and flip the inequality sign if multiplying or dividing by a negative number.
Flip sign if you're multiplying or dividing by negative.
Yeah. Those are the two rules you have. Otherwise, they're exactly like inequalities.
So what's the second one? I can't really make sense of it. Never divide or multiply by
Negative
Very-
number.
Okay, I
No,
can't.
no.
I couldn't read
Never multiply or divide by a variable like x or y. Never divided by that.
that. Yeah.
Okay. And second rule is that flip the inequality sign if you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number.
Yeah, sir. I'd like to practice this. I don't think my inequalities are that strong.
Okay. So we're going to solve a few questions. So obviously, let me know. Just be mindful of these two rules. So let's start with a simple one. Okay. So treat it like you're solving an equation. You'll do -3, right?
Yes, 2x is greater than 6, so it's 3.
Less than 6.
Oh, sorry, yeah, less than 6. So x is less than 3.
Yeah. If you want to show it on number line, you'll just put 3 here and solve the way here.
Why would you put it on a number line, sir?
In case I want to show it on a number line.
Okay.
Yeah. That all the numbers that are below 3, they are basically x. So x could have any of these. Let's try this one.
-1 x is less than -1.
So you're saying -1x is less than -1, right? What should be our next step?
X is greater than 1, sir.
Yeah, because you have to take this negative out to this side, x is going to be bigger than 1. You're going to flip the sign because it's important to do it to be mindful of the rules because you can make many silly mistakes. Let's try this one.
Sir, could you give me a second? Or like, you can leave this up for a while before solving it, sir. I just need to take a call for a quick second.
Sure.
So ये हो जाएगा 4x is less than equal to 34 minus 34.
No. Minus
No?
20. Because when
Nice,
7 will come here, it's also going to change its sign.
Oh, अच्छा, जी, sorry. 4x is less than equal to minus 20. अच्छा ये हो जाएगा फिर 20 divided by 4 फिर sign flip.
Yeah.
सर आपसे एक सवाल है सर ए लेवल्स में मोल्स के चैप्टर में लिमिटिंग और एक्सेस आता है
बिल्कुल आता है.
सर मुझे आप वो 2 मिनट में सिखा देंगे.
Alright, sometimes we get a double inequality. A double inequality is when you have basically two situations. Now, there are two ways of solving it. One is that you split this up into two inequalities. So that's one method. And you just solve them both and combine them at the end.
So it's a far more complicated method than mine.
The other method is that you take this thing and what you do is you try to keep x in the middle and remove everything to other side. For example, you have +3, so you subtract 3 from every side. So that is -10 is less than -2x less than 12. Then you divide it all by -2. That gives me 5 is greater than equal to x greater than equal to -6.
नहीं सर ये तो बहुत complicated.
That's also really complicated. Mine.
What's your method?
Okay, sir, could you go back to the original question?
Yeah, this is the original question.
Is it, sir?
Yeah, this one.
Okay. So what was given was negative cx minus 7. That's what we're doing, sir, not this.
Oh, that's another question. This is a newer question because both of you did the previous question right.
Okay.
Yeah. But what's your method? Tell me.
Okay, so sir, for the negative 3x minus 7, sir, so I know that you want to move the x's to the left and you want to move the numbers to the right. So I added 7, which made it negative 20 on the right, and then I moved the negative 7 by adding it. So I got positive 4x is less than or equal to 20, and then I divided that by 4.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely right. But I'm talking about this. So how would we solve this double inequality?
So I use your first method then.
Yeah. You can either split it like this one and this one, two different inequalities, or you can do it with the whole thing.
Could we have another one of a double inequality, sir? Could be more practice.
Sure.
सर मैंने अभी आंसर नहीं लिखा लेकिन मुझे मेथड आता है आपको क्या बता सकता हूँ
नहीं अगर आता है तो ठीक है.
Yeah.
Now, there is another. Sometimes what they do is they try to relate two equations, two inequalities, and they ask you where do the answer lack in terms of quadrants. So on your graph paper you have 4 quadrants: first, second, third, fourth, right? And you can use inequalities and you can plot them here. So for example, here's a question: which quadrants do these inequalities lie in? Any idea how to do this?
No, sir.
It seems so familiar. I swear, I think I've done this.
You might have. You just had your O-level exams.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We are going to treat them like an equation, as I told you, right? So if you had y equals to minus 3x plus 1, how would you plot them? So we already saw yesterday that 1 is the starting value and minus 3 is the rate. So this is going to go like this. Okay? And then the greater than sign means up and less than sign means down if you have y and x both. Okay? If you have y in an equation, the greater sign means up and the less sign means down. So this means you're talking about upper portion of this line, all the area above this line. Okay? Now let's look at the second one. That is 2x minus 3. Let me do that. Minus 3 is over here and 2x is like this, positive 2. And it's also greater, which means I'm talking about the area above this line as well.
जी सर याद आ गया मुझे.
So where are both of them overlapping? That's over here, right?
जी sir.
Yeah, so that's my answer.
So I didn't really understand this so much. I don't think I've done this.
Wait a minute, you haven't done this?
Sir, honestly, my teachers have been slow for quite a while, sir. I don't know what else to say.
No. I mean, you haven't. Have you studied this thing, like how to plot a graph for this thing?
No, sir.
What? Okay, I'm sorry, but I find it hard to wrap my head around it. You're in you're studying calculus, right?
I'm in calculus right now, yes, sir.
Whoa. Okay. That's fine. Nothing to worry about. So here's the thing.
I have hundreds in calculus, sir, but like I find this part quite difficult.
It's okay. So here's the thing. Y equal minus 3x plus c is basically a form of y equal mx plus b. Have you seen this before?
Y equals mx plus 2, yeah.
Yeah. So b is our starting value. We also call it an intercept. So in this case, my intercept is 1. So I'll just put it at here, 1. And minus 3 is my slope, which basically means it is minus 3 over 1. So think of it like this. Minus 3 is the change in y and 1 is the change in x.
I know slope, yeah. I know rise over run.
Okay. Yeah, so that means I'm going down 3 steps if I go right 1 step.
Yeah.
Okay? So if I go right 1 step right, I'm going to go down to minus 2, right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
So then I can join this line with this line, and that's basically my line, my equation. Now,
so could you make a question to solve using this thing so I can understand it a bit more, like grasp it a bit better?
I'm sorry?
Could you give me a question about like what is this plotting a graph so I can grasp the concept a bit better?
Sure. So for example, if I told you y is less than 2x plus 5, can you draw that?
2x plus 5, you said, so y equals to mx, y is greater than equal to mx plus b.
Less than equal.
Yeah, sorry. So then b, you started 5, and then your slope would be 2 over 1, so rise over 1. So
सर एक सवाल है.
Yeah.
सर पिछले क्वेश्चन में आंसर क्या होगा? Y is equal to x.
पिछले क्वेश्चन में?
जी. The one that you did. This one.
Which one?
Sir, ऊपर.
What's an example?
it would be 1, 7 then. If you had to graph a point.
No, I don't have to find a point. Come on. I don't need a point.
So what am I to do in this situation then, sir?
We just have to find the quadrant where both the graphs overlap.
Where both the graphs overlap.
So for example, in this one, if I were to draw just one of them, this is going to be, so just plot it, 5, and then it's going to go up like this, right?
Why would it go up like that, sir?
Because the slope is positive, so rise over run is 2 over 1. So it's going to go up to 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so it's going to go like that. And then it says y is less than, which means what's my area? It is this region that I'm talking about, below the line.
Which would be quadrant 1. All of them, actually.
All of them, yeah. But what if I combine this with y is greater than equals to minus 3x plus 1? Now, I will have to draw that line as well. So if I do that, that line is going to be 1 over here, and minus 3 means it's going to go down. I'll just join these 2 points, okay? So and this is y is greater, right? Greater means it's above this line. So that will be above this line. So in what region do I have both the green lines and the yellow lines?
All quadrants except 4, or no?
No,
One.
third.
Yeah.
1,
except
2,
third.
3, 4.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, and 4. That's the quadrant I'm talking about.
Okay, I mean, I don't get this that much, but like if you have a lecture or something, like a video, please send me that, sir.
Okay. Moise, do you understand this?
Ji, sir.
Yeah. The third thing is in this chapter, how to translate inequalities and like how to make inequalities from any example that you have. So, for example, here's a question: word problem that we should be able to convert.
Sir, y is greater than equal to x is
X?
less than equal to
Wait a
400.
minute. Where are you getting x from?
Oh, sorry, 3x.
3x. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think I also might have gotten it.
Okay. So that's like the third part of inequalities. And yeah, that's it.
So y would be greater than or equal to 3x plus 400.
One equation would be that y is greater than or equal to 3x, just that.
Okay.
Because it's basically I'm translating the first statement that number of frogs must be greater than or equal to 3 times the number of snakes. So that is y is greater than or equal to 3x. That's it. In addition, that's a second inequality. Number of frogs, y, and number of snakes, x. So y plus x sums to at least 400. Should be greater than or equal to 400.
Yeah, so it's y is greater than or equals to 3x, greater than or equals to 400.
Yeah, y is greater than or equal to 3x, and y plus x is greater than or equal to 400. Those are my two inequalities.
Okay.
And I can move this x here and make it y greater than minus x plus 400.
Sir, x कहाँ से आया? 3x नहीं था सिर्फ?
No. The population of snakes is x, but y should be greater than or equal to 3x.
अच्छा.
Okay, I didn't really get the second half of this, sir.
The second one.
I didn't get the second inequality. I got the first one. Like, why?
The second one says, in addition, the number of frogs, this one, number of frogs. So what is number of frogs? Number of frogs is y.
Y plus.
And number of snakes, that is x. So y plus x
greater than or equal to
comes to at least 400, which means it should be greater or equal to 400.
Sorry, sir, I was being stupid. I didn't realize it's that system of inequalities. I thought it was just one inequality.
No, it's fine. No problem.
I got it, sir. It's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to send you a big worksheet. Do it over the weekend. And it's going to have like 6 different chapters in it. So if there's any problem you can't solve, just bring it to me. I understand you have your that checklist thing going up. What is it called? Assessment?
Exams.
Exams. Oh, you have your exams. Yeah.
Yes.
And, so okay, so take your time.